Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rokal Kadesh. Double honors on salutations to the elders and apostles who grew me stone rule well, and to the accurate on the four corners of the earth. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Yeah, so chaos, 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 chaos in the land of Babylon. All right, chaos on the on the earth. All right, and it's just part of that bitterness, of the gospel that we have to get acquainted with. All right, and the Most High is tearing down Babylon one piece at a time. All right, one piece, one structure at a time. And you have these so-called first responders in New York City. They're protesting the mandates that the mayor of New York City is pushing, you know. And hey, it's gonna get dicey out there, chaos. Maybe upon the streets of America. All right, not to even mention the whole world. All right, and it's gonna get ugly, very, very, very soon. All right, because whew, the kingdom is at hand. All right, that's one thing that the men of the Lord know for sure. All right, and these things have to happen. All right, so it's gonna be crazy upon the land of America, man, aka Babylon the Great. All right, and it's gonna be a lot of chaos and disaster. Okay, so there's so many precepts to bring out. I'm just gonna focus on Second Ezra chapter 15, verses 17 and 18. All right, that it hits the nail on the head. All right, so the book of Second Ezra chapter 15, verses 17 and 18 mentions that a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why? Because of the chaos in there, you know. And these so-called governors, they will have to activate the National Guard to step up and account for the lack of police officers. So that's just the plan of the elites, and the Lord is basically leading them down a path that they can never turn around from. Okay? So a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. So when the people don't want to go along with the government's mandate, and the governors, and the city administrators are not giving in, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to be a messed up environment, all right? Because these folks in power, they don't understand what their duties are. And since they've already been bought and paid for by the elites that run Wall Street, that run the World Bank, that run the UN, they're just going to thump their nose at the people, all right? And hey, that's just going to add more fuel to the fire, all right? So Second Ezra 15 verse 18, for because of their pride the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So don't be surprised when you see all these government buildings on fire, whether it's the mayor's office, the governor's mansion. Don't be surprised, man. Control centers, command centers on fire, uh, bus depots, the train yard and all that stuff, seaports being set on fire because people are upset. That's how chaotic, you know, Babylon is going to be. So don't be surprised, man, that these elites are going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, you know, so they have complete control of our society. So all these protests, they're not going to bring about any solution for the people. It's just going to lead to more confrontation. And you see the people carrying the American flag upside down, meaning the country is in distress. All right. So it's going to be beautiful, man. To see the Lord provide for His elect, because it's going to be a time of our faith being tried, and we have to be ready. We have to accept, the difficulty that's ahead of us. All right. So the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verses 3 and 4, it mentions that in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves. So all you so-called leaders, man, that's run America, hey, it's about time to go, hide in the bunkers. Go hide in a vault, you know. Uh, why wait till shit hits the fan? So it's gonna be terrible. All these so-called governors that like to talk down to the people, and these so-called attorney generals, they're gonna be hiding. know, all these big wigs of society, they're not gonna be out there with the people, you know, trying to find a solution. They're gonna go into hiding because they are already on the list. They find themselves on the red list, and now the people want justice because the corruption has already reached onto the heavens, and the Most High is basically going to turn the madness of Babylon upside down upon the heads of those that run the society into the ground. All right. So now it says, and the grandest cease because they are few. So unemployment is gonna be it's gonna be a common thing, you know. And those that look out of the windows be darkened. Yeah, so there's not gonna be any optimistic vibe here in America. That's a spirit of optimism, of build back better, is gonna go out the window. All right, all these so-called market analysts, financial analysts, that tell people how the market need to respond to certain events, what type of policies they need to be in place. All those people are not going to be able to say anything of major importance because people are going to be hungry, they're going to be angry, and they're going to commit crimes. And they've got to defend themselves against these predators, man. So it's gonna be a society of predatory characters, roaming the streets, trying to make ends meet for their families to survive. So, hey, that's why you gotta pray the Lord, have a hedge about you, so you don't fall into the hands of your enemies. So you could imagine all these SWAT team members that can't go back to their so-called job anymore as a police officer, as sheriff deputies. What do you think they're gonna do when they can't get no food for their family? The banks are shut down because the tellers and the bank managers, they can't afford to come to work due to fear. It says what A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So the bank's going to be open when there's going to be chaos. That'll be a huge no. All right, they're going to be boarded up, and grocery stores are going to have a hard time, meeting the needs of the people. So that's why we're praying, Lord Hamashiach Yahushua, and get us out of Babylon, because when the anger gets to that boiling point, that's it. It's just gonna keep going up and up and up and up and up. The temperature's gonna keep rising, and hey, it's part of the journey, you know. So if you read Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1, it's one of those beautiful precepts. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed." And that's the so-called mandates. All these executive orders, all these policies that they put in place to further oppress the people is going to cause a lot of chaos. That's why it says, "Woe unto them, woe unto them, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees." So these governors, these attorney generals, all these secretary of these different government agencies, they're not going to be available to solve the people's problems, because they, they're not in a position to do so. They're just basically puppets for the elites, so they're going to go into hiding. All right. Then it says, "And the right grievousness which they have prescribed." So the elites are going to go into hiding, man. Your so-called mayors, they're just going to call it a day and go seek refuge in an undisclosed location. And then Isaiah 10 and 2 says, "To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the rights of the poor of my people." Yeah, so our people, the Israelites, man, the Lord's going to fight for them these last days, right? Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7, time of Jacob's trouble, when the Lord can protect us, all right? The so-called Negroes, the so-called Latinos, and the so-called Native Americans, all right? That widows may be their prey, and they may rob the fatherless. Yep, so the desire of the elites of this world, to oppress our people, it does not sit well with the Lord. So the Lord is going to bring a heavy judgment upon them. And these first responders protesting on the streets, that's just a symptom of things to come, you know. So just expect more chaotic events, man. These riots seem, civil. These protests seem civil, right? But very soon it's gonna get out of control, all right? So that's upon the Hakim. There's nothing positive that's gonna come out of these protests or riots, all right? And the Lord Hamashak Yahushai Bashim Kakadash, we provide a way out, for his elect in these last days. Shalom.